We work on various sectors. One of them, which is one of our priorities right now, is student housing. Couple of reasons for that. Main one being is that it's basically an underrated segment. We've identified a number of drivers in that market which made Quares decide to launch a fund initiative, namely Quares Student Housing in that sector. Basically we're seeing demographics playing clearly in favor of that niche. We're seeing that the number of students, of people being born, which will have 18 years in 18 years' time, is still growing slightly. But we also see that the number of people, young people, that continue to study into higher education, be it high schools or universities, is growing, is still growing. So that trend of democratization is still happening in Belgium and across Europe. Second element which is playing and which is increasingly coming into favor for the segment, especially in Belgium and Brussels, is the number of foreign students which come to Belgium to continue higher studies. And there's two elements basically driving that trend. That is the quality of the education which we get in Belgium, and secondly, it's still quite affordable to study in Belgium compared to some neighboring countries like definitely the UK, but also the Netherlands. So that's the main drivers for us to having decided to launch a product. As the sector is still growing, there's a number of developers picking up this sector and developing products, but if you buy off the shelf, obviously as a fund, you know you're going to pay a premium. You're basically going to pay the margin of the developer. So that's why we're also, as a second line of activity, developing, or rather constructing ourselves. So basically, in sake of our investors, we're not going to take a development risk in the sense that we will require a building permit in place before we commit any equity, but it's definitely a play we're executing because it allows, on the one hand, to buy at affordable prices, to give the premium, basically development margin, to our investors, but secondly, to find good product in very good locations. And it works by scouting the market. It also works by setting up joint ventures, basically with universities and higher education institutions.